Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott Mackenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, welcome to Industrial Talk. Thank you very much for joining this number one industrial-related podcast in the universe that celebrates industry professionals all around the world. You're bold, you're brave, you dare greatly, you innovate, you collaborate, you solve problems each and every day. You are making the world a better place. Bank on it. We're here at Xcelerate, early morning conversation. I don't even have my coffee because Curt got up real early and decided that he still wanted to talk at 7 a.m.
Yes, I do.
Xcelerate, brought to you by those wonderful people at Fluke Reliability. Check them out. Go out on flukereliability.com. Find out more. If you're in the world of asset management, maintenance, and reliability, check them out. You will not be disappointed. As I said, Curt is in the hot seat. He's having a great conference, hopefully.
Yes.
Let's get cracking.
Let's do it.
Yeah. You having a good conference?
Yeah, I am. It's good. It's cool. It's about, I can't remember if it's my third or fourth one to be here. I think it's the third, but yeah, it's good. Good to catch up with people. It's a great thing.
It really is. I enjoy the collaboration that everybody's like, yeah, let's get together. Let's talk about these challenges. Hey, how about this for a solution?
Yeah.
You know, I do. I can truly appreciate it. Have you ever been in an autonomous vehicle?
No, but I would like to take one to the airport today. Will they go that far?
I don't know. I took one to a cigar shop last night.
Oh, there's a cigar shop right across from the Marriott. Is that where it took you?
No, I went to another one that took me in a Waymo for 10 minutes, which was just absolutely spectacular.
Did you carry on a conversation with the invisible driver?
It's so funny because you jump in the car and you just realize that there's nobody there.
I know, it's kind of weird, right?
It is. It's just fantastic.
I don't know if I can take one to the airport or not, but if I can, I'm going to.
Yeah, you should.
It'll be interesting. But, the only thing about the driverless cars, I just don't want to be killed by one.
I felt safe. Safe as a baby in the mother's arm. I did.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
It's where we're going, man. There ain't no doubt about it.
No, it's happening today.
Yeah, I'm glad I lived through it. So.
Yeah, that is so cool. Okay, for the listeners out there, give us a little background on who Curt is.
Yeah, I am a consultant, and I've been doing a lot of consulting in the energy and utility business. So I spent a long time in the actual electric and gas utility business, and most of it was doing maintenance. A lot of it was doing process improvement and implementation around SAP, Maximo, now EMaint, and I've been doing this for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
So I started in the utility industry doing it in the mid-'90s, and I'm still rolling.
Who would you work with in the utility space?
The utilities themselves? Yeah. Well, the first one I started with was OG&E out of Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
They were the first person to actually implement SAP for everything that they did.
Yeah.
We were doing it in anticipation of deregulation, trying to separate them different business units, and they needed to completely change their systems out and how they do business. So we brought in SAP and was actually able to implement that whole thing from the very beginning, payroll, all of it, and obviously SAP PM, which is a maintenance part of SAP.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
It was the first one. It was a good deal.
Yeah, that's a heavy lift.
Yeah, it was, and so I've been in a lot of other major utilities doing stuff. Recently, the most recent utility thing that I did was with a large utility in the Northeast, where their goal was to cut $1 billion worth of OPEX out of their operating cost, and that was a very interesting thing too, to actually look at what they wanted to do, how they were going to try to achieve that. And how bringing in, again, it was SAP. SAP was kind of dominating in the large utility space because they actually offer everything, including billing. And so it was very interesting to try to understand how we were going to do that and kind of make that happen. So, but that's been my career. I've done this a lot.
I'm big geeky on utilities. That's my background, and
Is it really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was a journeyman transmission lineman for Southern
awesome.
California Edison, climbing towers. Don't ask me to climb towers today.
You didn't do the helicopter thing, did you?
I did.
Ah, really?
Oh,
Dangle from a helicopter.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. That's great.
No, that's yesterday.
Yeah.
Long time yesterday.
So recently, what I've been doing, I been working with EMaint, and I had a friend of mine who became the CIO at a pipeline company, a crude pipeline company, and they were going to implement some kind of asset management system. And he called me up and said, "Hey, man, I need you to come do this for me." And I said, "Okay." And the company had already selected EMaint, and so we started that process, implementing EMaint for them. We were under a very tight deadline, and we had.
It's always the case.
Well, it was a spinoff, right? And it's very interesting, this whole spinoff. You know, a lot of the oil companies, and this oil company was now pretty much a major oil company. They weren't necessarily as major at the time. They've made some giant acquisitions, but you know, they're kind of getting out of their things that weren't core to their business. And you know, their core business is drilling for oil and selling oil, and they had a pipeline company, and it was you know, a fairly substantial pipeline company. It actually moves 5% of U.S. crude.
Wow.
And they decided to get out of that business, sold it to an investment firm. And so, you know, it's kind of like they gave us 5 months to get off their systems. I said, "You're on our systems, you got 5 months, get off." And I was like, all right. So being the fact that they were a crude pipeline company, highly regulated, right? And so you have to keep history. We had 389,000 historical work orders that we had to bring over. I mean, the numbers were astounding. And
a common problem with companies.
Yeah, well,
doggone work orders.
Yeah,
Sort of
I hate it when that happens. You know, work orders are great, but the fact that they were regulated, we can't get rid of them, right? I mean, they could go back theoretically. They could go back 10 years or something of that nature. PHMSA regulations, I forgot exactly what they were, but reality is, if they think there's weirdness, they can go back forever. So we weren't really allowed to delete anything. But we were successful at doing it. It was a heck of a road. It was a heck of a road for EMaint to understand what we were doing, because we were a rather large client for them at the time. And but we were able to be successful and bring it in and went from there.
You deployed the CMMS?
Yeah, I did. We did
in 5 months.
In 5 months.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, it's been. It's been my career doing implementations, right? And you know, but that's
I don't care what it is. Been there, done that.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
That's big time heavy.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work, and it's not the end of my story of doing another one fast. But so we implemented their X4 product, and it turns out that we were too big for it. It structurally couldn't deal with a company of our size and the complexity of our size, and we were trying to make a lot of the regulatory stuff very online and take away the paper, because the paper was incredible. We had 2 terabytes of paper storage that you have to do, and a lot of people don't realize when they talk about crude pipelines or pipelines in general, they're all like, "Oh no, it'll leak," or whatever.
Right.
I've worked in the nuclear industry and I've worked in the pipeline industry, and I think PHMSA regulations are probably tougher.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that you do on that pipeline, you have to have documentation. It's totally incredible. But then we decided to make the move to X5, and that was an interesting experience. X5 was new, and it hadn't been tried, and kind of a large.
In fact, I think they rolled it out last year. I think it was, or at least.
Yeah, we kind of pioneered that for them.
Yeah,
and it was a great learning experience. I learned a lot about EMaint in general, and you know, the product was on the market, but nobody really used it. And then all of a sudden, here we are with giant company coming in and say, okay, we want to do this. And we ran into, you know, a lot of issues, things that didn't work like they thought. It wasn't sized probably the way they wanted to. But I will tell you this about EMaint and the guys I work with. You know, Bill Green, who's now the vice president, he was awesome, right? So he did whatever it took for us to be successful at making that happen. Right. And I think it laid the groundwork for everybody that's doing X5 today, because we fixed a whole lot of issues. coming out of that. So
that's good.
It was good. And that one took 18 months.
Yeah. Typical. Yeah. How long is it? 18 months.
And then so I that went on for a while, and then finally I retired. I'm an old man, so I decided I needed to retire. So I retired for a while, and all of a sudden that same CIO that was there, that pipeline company sold to somebody else. So he kind of parachuted out, and he was looking for another job, and he found one at the company that I'm doing work with right now called Deep Blue. And he called me up and said, "Hey, I think we need to do EMaint again." I went, okay, how long do we got? 5 months. I'm
right.
like, all right, let's see what we got. The difference with this one, it was a startup, but we had to get off the old systems and create a new scenario for these guys to go live, and we did, and we were successful, and we're into it right now, and it's a lot of fun. We're having a great time. I'm actually here at the conference to be a speaker. I'm speaking here at about 10:20, I think, this morning. We connected EMaint to NetSuite via an API, and it's great for an old man like me to talk about the technology. So I'm telling everybody, don't be afraid of technology today. Right. Things are a lot easier than they used to be.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of our OPEX expenses we have a lot of contract maintenance. Matter of fact, majority of our maintenance is contract. So when we write work orders, we need to write a purchase order basically at the same time, and our finance people are like, all right, so we want a PO. So okay, we'll do it. So now that we've set up a scenario where when they write a work order, it automatically creates POs in NetSuite, right? So it connects everything. Everything's kind of connected together, so it works really well. We're running about 1,500 of these a month right now, and it seems to be cruising pretty good. I think we're looking at some potential acquisitions down the road that may raise that to about 2,500 by the end of the year. So that's kind of what we've been doing.
What does the business do?
The business, Deep Blue Water, is in the water business, and the headquarters is actually in Houston, but all the action's in Midland, Texas. Yeah. If anybody's never been to Midland, it's an oil place. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Permian Basin God blessed it with a bunch of oil. There's no doubt about that. But what we do, and again, it's a spinoff, and this was owned by a very large oil company, and most of them out there have their own water scenarios, right? Hydraulic fracking takes a lot of water to actually do it, about roughly anywhere between 7 and 13 million gallons, depending on whatever the conditions are in the ground. And not only that, when you produce oil, when you're got oil flowing through the pipeline, it carries a lot of water with it, and so they have separators where they separate the water, then they send it to us, and so we actually get paid.
Send the water to you?
Yeah, they send us the water. So
they separate it out. They send you the water.
They send us the water, but the water's not truly 100% separated. So we do some separation again. And so we have two different scenarios where we can either treat the water, we put in big retention ponds, big giant retention ponds.
Oh yeah.
And so if we can treat the water so they can reuse it, that's what we do.
For hydraulic fracking.
Yeah, for hydraulic fracking. If they can't do it, if there's some reason there's something in there that they can't do it, then we send it down hole through what we call a saltwater disposal well. And that's the core business. The companies out there, because it's pretty much a desert. West Texas is a desert. I don't know if you've ever been to Midland or not, but so water is a scarce commodity. And contrary sometimes to popular opinion, these oil companies want to be green about it, and they want to use 100% of treated water. That's what their goal is. We're not quite there yet, but that is their goal. To be able to do that. So that's, we're trying to get there to help them, get to that process. But right now it's not all 100%. And that's kind of where we are.
How do you get to 100%? I mean, it just seems like that would be
filtration systems are getting smarter, better. The company actually made an acquisition of this company that had these air filtration systems. I'm not smart enough to know how they work, but I think that's the key. Filtration has to get better. And cheaper. Not you can't use things like a reverse osmosis. Probably it doesn't make any sense.
That would be.
And we're not treating it to drinking water, but I think in the long term that's what the goal is. I think if I'm not mistaken, that's really what they want to do. Be able to use it for farming.
Yeah.
Right? All this, I mean, let's use this water. It's coming out of the ground, so we might as well figure out how to use it. So
interesting.
So I think when filtration systems get better, cheaper, it'll all kind of work out. So, but that's where we are right now.
So with all that said, where do you see it all going? I mean, you've heard about the world of AI and everything. Is that something that's on your radar?
Well, it's funny. The CIO is obviously reports to the president of the company who loves the thought of AI and loves the thought of gadgetry and things of that nature. And I think, AI will play a role in the long run. In my personal opinion, now what I'm about to say is my Curt Chamberlain's personal opinion, is that it's a fairly hype scenario right now that I think people don't fully understand the capabilities and how it works. I think for a company like Deep Blue that I'm working with right now, you have to have depth of data for AI to understand or AI to try to learn patterns, because basically it's a pattern recognition kind of scenario. When you strip away the onion, I mean, it's not really something that's ever going to think like a human. It's going to think like it's programmed, and you need a lot of data. And since we're brand new, I don't see a giant need off the top in what we do to be very helpful at this stage of the game. Now, 5 years from now, that may be different because we'll have a bunch of data. But I think in order for it to develop learning patterns, there has to be patterns for it to recognize. So it means you have to have a ton of data. And so, I think in general in the maintenance business, I see a lot of possibilities for AI in the maintenance business. I really do, and I think that especially for your big refineries and stuff that have been collecting data with PI systems from God knows when. Now they have data, right? And they have a lot of data. So I think the possibility exists for industries that are a lot more established, or companies that are more established that have more data for it to look at. That's kind of my personal opinion.
What has got you outside of the obvious of X5 as you look at this floor, as we're on the reliability lab floor? Is there anything that just sort of jumps out that says, "Hey, that's pretty cool"?
Yeah, well, I think all the Fluke tools are pretty cool.
Yeah, the Fluke tools are.
And I think there's a lot of stuff that we can do. See, one thing I've learned, it's very interesting. Both the last company I worked at and this one were spinoffs from oil companies. And they spun them off, I think, for several reasons. Number one, it wasn't core business. And it was kind of a nit. I mean, these are big companies, but the oil companies are really big companies. And so when I look at that and I look at the one we do today, everything is pretty much run to fail. Mm-hmm. I mean, there is some preventive maintenance kind of stuff, but a lot of it is run to fail. And they've always kind of operated under this run to fail scenario. And what I find challenging is trying to get them to understand operational excellence. Why sometimes you need to spend money, you don't know really why, to try to get better at run to fail, so to speak. So, I mean, we spend a ton of money at the company I'm at right now on electrical, and I am not 100% sure that we can solve that with thermography or some of that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if we couldn't. But it's hard to get people to kind of think that way. So I think all of this stuff is pretty cool. And, West Texas is a pump area. I mean, there's probably 30 million. We were trying to figure that out one day. How many pumps you think are in the whole Permian Basin? 30 million, 50 million? I was talking to a pump guy, and we were just laughing about it. Right. So I think a lot of the stuff they do around vibration analysis, and I think that whole stuff is it's amazing. It doesn't quite fit our bill, but it's pretty amazing stuff. I like that kind of thing.
Well, I enjoyed this conversation in a big way.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. How do people get a hold of you there, Curt?
Well, you can get a hold of me, but I'm on LinkedIn, Curt Chamberlain. You can find me, and I'm just an individual sitting out there, but I'm more than happy to carry on a conversation or talk to anybody about anything.
All right. His name is Curt. You did a great job. That was great.
Oh, thank you.
I really enjoyed that. All right, we're once again broadcasting Xcelerate 2025, brought to you by those wonderful people from Fluke Reliability. Check them out. Go out to flukereliability.com and make sure that you find out more, because you want them as a partner in your efforts to become more reliable and do maintenance better and, manage those assets. All right, we're going to wrap it up on the other side. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
That's Curt Chamberlain. That was Xcelerate 2025. An absolutely exceptional, incredible event. If you are in the world of asset management, reliability, maintenance, and you're looking for and searching for a solution, a team, people that want to help you succeed, it's Fluke Reliability. You need to be at Xcelerate 2026, which is right around the corner, March. So put that on your calendar. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It's incredible. So there, that's my pitch. Do it. Be there. Meet with me. All right. Industrial Talk is here for you. We want to celebrate your story. You need to go out to Industrial Talk and connect with me. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. Hang out with Curt. Change the world. We're going to have another great conversation shortly, so stay tuned.